Hello, my name is Eduardo Martínez Molina, and I am a student of the bilingual group of primary education in the University of Murcia. Today I am going to present my final exam of Resources and ICT. So let's start. My teaching project is designed for students in the 6th grade of primary school, and the subject is Spanish language. First of all, I will start with the objectives of this activity, which I have taken from the Decree 209 from 2022, that dictates the curriculum of primary education in the region of Murcia. This is my ACAD design, which is divided into three parts. The first part is the set design, which covers the different applications that my students will have to use for this activity, starting with YouTube, Storybed, Audacity, and Pixton. The second part is the epistemic design, which is the step that the students will have to do to complete the activity. First, they will have to create an history, then watch a video, after that making an audiobook, and the last thing is to create a comic. Finally, we have the social design, which is the number of people who will work on the task, which is 2. I will start by introducing the theme of scary stories. I will talk about what a horror story is, its characteristics, and how it can generate emotions in the reader. In this segment, students will use the free tool Storybird to create their own horror story. In the second part, students will create an audiobook to which they will add suspense and horror music. Students will present their audiobook in class, and it will be performed in low light with candles and scary music to create a perfect atmosphere. Finally, the students will have to create a short comic about their history. To start the educational project, students will have to open Storybird. Storybird is a tool where you can create stories. In this case, the student will have to create a horror story. Once inside the application, they will click on Write and choose the background they prefer. Once they have done this, they just have to start writing. Once the story is finished, students will have to save it. Then they will click on Go Dashboard. This is an example of what it should look like. The second thing a student will have to do is downloading Audacity. Students will use the Audacity tool to record an audiobook of their horror history. In this process, students should read aloud their history and add sound effects and music to enhance the overall atmosphere. For recording, students will have to press the red button above, and if they want to add music, they will have to add a new track as shown as the screen. To add the audio, they will have to click on File, then on Open, and then click on this computer and they will go to Download, where they will add the music they have downloaded. If students have difficulties to use the tool, I recommend watching this video on YouTube. Now I am going to show you a small fragment of how it should look like. Nobody attempted to visit a deserted home that was located at the farthest corner of the community. It was said that she was haunted by the spirit of a woman who had been assassinated there decades earlier. In the last part of the activity, the pupils will have to use Pixton. Pixton is an application for making comics. The aim is that the pupils represent their scary story in a small comic book. Now I am going to explain how Pixton works. Pixton is a very easy tool to use. If you want to change the background, you have to click on Skins and choose the most appropriate one. Regarding the characters, you have thousands of different skins, and you can choose the gender and age of the person. With the objects option, you can put any object you want on the character. To add the words, you have to select the character and click on speech. You also can change the different expressions of the characters, as well as their movements, for example to run, sit or jump. This is an example of how the comic should finish. One ethical problem that could arise from using scary stories or horror themes in the classroom is their potential for causing fear or anxiety in some students, particularly those who are more sensitive to such content. When we want to tell scary stories in class, we need to make sure that all students feel safe and comfortable. We can talk to them beforehand and explain that some people might feel scared or uncomfortable with this type of stories. We can also offer other activities to those who do not want to participate. By doing this, we can make sure that everyone feels respected and happy in our class. Additionally, it is important to ensure that the content is age appropriate and that all students have parental consent to participate. One ethical problem that could arise is the potential for students to include inappropriate language or offensive content in their recordings. To solve this problem, it may be helpful to establish clear guidelines and expectations for appropriate language and behavior when using the tool. Another problem could be that some of the students do not have the electronic means to do the activity, but as it is a group task, the students could share the material in case one of them does not have the electronic means to do the activity. The last problem could be that those who are less familiar with electronic devices may not know how to use the electronic tools with the instruction I have given, but with the amount of videos on YouTube this should not be a problem. The added value of using digital tools in the case of teaching scary stories is that they can help enhance the learning experience and make it more engaging and interactive for students. Tools like Piston and Storybird can be used to create visual representation of scary stories, which can help students better understand the characters and setting of the story, and also allow them to express their own creativity. Overall, using digital tools in teaching scary stories can help make the learning process more dynamic and fun, while also developing students' digital literacy skills. To evaluate this activity, I would use an evaluation rubric. Some of the factors I would take into account would be creativity, learning, participation, and digital skills. First, I would like to give a definition of the PLE. According to Linda Castañeda and Jordi Adel, the PLE is the set of tools, sources of information, connections, and activities each person regularly uses to learn. In this activity, by using digital tools, students can develop their digital literacy and technology skills. Secondly, the activity can help students to build their creativity and storytelling skills. By using different digital tools to create their stories, they can experiment with different formats, styles, and techniques and explore their imagination in new ways. Finally, the activity can contribute to the development of a student's social and communication skills. By sharing their stories with others, students can learn how to communicate their ideas effectively, receive feedback, and engage in constructive discussions. This is my PLE. ChatGPT. The ChatGPT is one of the tools I have used the most this year. It has helped me to search for information on different topics and to help me in my writing text, so it has to be in my PLA. Canva. Canva is a tool with which you can design and edit professionally. I have used it for all the presentation in this course and I will continue to do so. It is definitely a perfect application for creating content. Google Drive. Google Drive is perfect for organization. Furthermore, I can work with other colleagues and share information. YouTube. YouTube is the source that I can use to work in different stages of my PLA. I use it for searching information, like Linda Castañeda channel, create it, like this video, and as an information source. Miro. Miro has been one of the biggest discoveries of this year. I discovered it when I worked as a curator, and since then I haven't stopped using it. It's perfect for planning, and I use it for my assignments and exams. The first area is professional engagement. It refers to the importance of electronic, not only for learning but also for communicating with parents, exchanging experience with other teachers, and for one's own personal professional development. It helps in developing and improving organizational communication strategies. It is also really important to individually and collectively reflect on critical access and actively develop one's own digital pedagogical practice. Throughout this course, I have been exposed to a diverse range of digital tools and resources that have helped me enhance my teaching methods. The fifth area is empower learners. One of the advantages that the use of electronic devices can have is their potential to motivate the students. Learners have more freedom to explore different topics, experiment with different options, and come up with creative solutions. Empowering learners is about ensuring accessibility to learning resources and activity for all learners, including those with special needs. Also, digital technologies can allow learners to advance at different levels and speeds. It is really important to put the students in real-world context, involving learners themselves in practical activities, scientific research, or complex problem solving. Being able to use different applications and tools when searching for information has increased my creativity and freedom when working on the course. Facilitating learners' digital competencies. The students must learn digital skills from the teachers. Facilitating digital competencies is an integral part of educators. They need to have individualized digital skills to accomplish this. A teacher should incorporate learning activities, assignments, and assessments, which require learners to articulate information needs, also how to modify and create digital content in different formats, and how analyze and compare and critically evaluate the credibility of information and its source. This course has taught me not to trust everything I see on the internet because a lot of information can be wrong, as it happened to me in the first assignment using the ChatGPT. I think that the grade I deserve for this year is an 8. I think that my performance this year has been improving during the year, and I'm really happy with my work in the different tasks that we have done, with my teaching project, which I think it's really originally, and I'm really happy with the result of my video. I think the most important role I have performed this year is the analyst. This is because you need to take care of a lot of responsibilities, and you need to make a reflection at the end of the week that is going to be the most important part of the post. Also, you need to see if your teammates have success doing their role, and you have to evaluate them, which is something really difficult sometimes. The most challenging role I have performed this year is star. This is because when you perform the star, you are the main representation of your group, and that's what the teacher is going to evaluate. Also, I always had a problem with my English skills, and if you add that I always get nervous in this position, this made being a star the most challenging role I have made this year.